so this is the president of the Dayton unit NAACP, Dr. Derrick Foward, and this is our curator, Elijah Rashid, who's helped put this exhibition together, I'm sorry. And so we're gonna go in and see it. Now, do you have something you want to tell us, a little history before we go in?
Yeah, well, I want to share as we're in there, but I guess I can do it here.
Okay, however you want to do
Yeah, yes, so something to do it.
it. Okay.
But you know,
Reflection of the time. We put this, exhibition together along with the NAACP director, our president, and actually who just got married. We was in a position where, I was in a position where I was able to go to what I consider a royal wedding. And so I want to take the time to say congratulations to you right now. Congratulations. Also, reflection of the time, is as you walk through, you'll see, you'll go back in time, and then in some cases you'll go forward in time. As you kind of see some of the things as African Americans that we've lived through, that we've been through, that we're going through, and hopefully that we're coming out of.
and as you walk in, I want to be able to hand each person one of these. Are you with me?
Yes, she's with our group.
Thank you.
All right, so what you're looking at here is the face of our national founders. On the front side is the face of our national founders. So a lot of times people really don't understand how the NAACP was actually created. We were created because from 1905 to 1908, W.E.B. Du Bois, led an organization called the National Negro Committee. And he was trying to advance the rights of African Americans in the early 1900s. He didn't get exactly everything that he wanted out of it, but his path crossed, thank God, his path crossed with Mary White Ovington, as you see on the bottom here. His path crossed with Mary White Ovington. White lady, blue eyes, pearly blue eyes. She said, you know what, W.E.B. Du Bois, I'm tired of seeing people being hung from trees. I'm tired of seeing people of a darker shade not being treated wrong. I want to help you. I want to be able to help you advance your cause of civil and human rights. And so it's because of Mary White Ovington that the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People exists today. She is one who organized a body of like 66 people to found the organization. And we need more Mary White Ovingtons in the world today to have that kind of courage to bring people together, to say we are one America, we are one people, and we are one nation under God. Let's really mean that we're one nation under God. So to the guy to the right of her Moorfield story, that was our first president of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The first president, he's Caucasian. In fact, from 1909 to 1976, the first 67 years of our organization's history, all of our presidents were white male. Every single one of them, from 09 to 76. We got our first African American president in 76. His name was Dr. W. Montague Cobb. He was from the healthcare industry. So since 76, all of our presidents have been either black male or black female since 76. If you look on the other side, it's more of the same. And this is our local founders. Do y'all recognize any of those names? How about Mr. Frederick Reich? Frederick Reich, he is the founder of what? Reich's department store. Okay? Then it went from Reich's to Reich's Kumler, and then from Reich's Kumler to Lazarus, to now what? Macy's.
Yeah.
Okay? So he was one of our local founders here in the Dayton community. A lot of people don't know that because they don't understand and know about the history. Julia Shaw, Patrick Cornell, who you're probably seen a big picture of, around the corner to her. So not only was she the founder, one of the major founders and major donors of the building we sit in now, known as the Dayton Art Institute, but she was also one of the founders of the Dayton chapter, back then, chapter of the NAACP. Then Rabbi David Lefkowitz, who was over Temple Israel. Okay, so all these people, so locally and nationally, we were both founded by a multiracial group of activists striving to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination among all Americans. And if we can have more Frederick Wrights in the Dayton community, if we could have more Rabbi Lefkowitz in the Dayton community, if we have more Julia Shaw Patterson, Cornells to join up with the African American family, what you're about to watch and walk around to understand what these paintings show from my curator, Art Rashid. So I was asked by the newspaper, Derrick, why did you have, are there any other NAACPs across this country who have an art curator? No. This is something that the Lord laid upon my heart. Was a couple of things, was to have an award show. I have an award show now. We have an award show that's going to take place for a second year in the month of October. I also want to be able to have art, something for art. The Lord led Elijah Rashid to the Dayton community. And him and I's paths crossed. We got to talking. And he said, Derrick, I can do exactly what you want to do. I said, really? Can you really? Because I knew him as a businessman inside the community. As a businessman. I didn't know he knew anything about the arts. But the arts has always been a passion of mine because we have a youth program that's for our kids, our high school students that compete in the performing and visual arts, sciences, mathematics, entrepreneurship, and things like that. So a lot of people, because they don't know the history of the NAACP, they only see what they may hear me talk about on TV. But it's more than what you hear or see me talk about on TV. Way more than that. And this is one of them. And he's going to walk you through a reflection of time. It's on you, Mr. Chairman.
Wow.
Hello, everybody.
No, those are yours.
Thank you.
Because I want you to share those with your network of friends.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Okay.
I was going to ask for a copy.
Well, the first painting we're going to see is Ernie Barnes' painting. Ernie Barnes, if you guys remember, anyone you guys young enough to remember Good Times?
Good times. That's right.
That was his work in Good Times.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I was bringing up something on my phone just to kind of show everybody. His painting last year went up for auction. It was slated to go anywhere between $300,000 and $600,000. Well, that particular painting ended up selling for almost $16 million.
This one right here.
This one did sell for $16 million, but the one from Sugar Shack, the Sugar Shack painting did, and it's not even the original. The original is owned by Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy bought it from the Marvin Gaye estate after Marvin Gaye was killed for $50,000. That one is worth more than $20 million. And since then, several of those paintings have been sold anywhere between $1 million and $6 million. This one here is about a little bit over $1 million, maybe $1.6 million. This one here is worth. And this is Ernie Barnes, the great Ernie Barnes.
Yes.
This one here is Frank Morrison. He is one of those descendants, like you hear comedians say, "Oh, I learned what I do from Richard Pryor or Bill Cosby." Well, Ernie Barnes, was one of his great artists that he followed and kind of reflect himself out. There you go back to reflections in time. What they say, eclectics. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as we hear, I'm gonna leave you guys a minute to take the time to read that. This painting here is called The Price of Cotton. It's been the artist is an award-winning artist. He's basically was a Western artist that was commissioned to do these 4 paintings that you see along this wall.
Is this by Kim?
It's by Kim Wiggins. You got a chance to meet Kim. Kim is as white as it gets.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, you know. So we got together because we feel that art is art. It's not black art, white art, red art. It's just art. And I think sometimes we get caught up into what if we work closer as a people, we would let loose a lot of those things that hold us back as far as race is concerned. But those stereotypes. But that was the price of cotton. And the price of cotton, one of the things that you will notice is if you look at that sun, the sun even appears hot even when we're in the air conditioning.
Yeah, it does.
If you go and look at this plantation, there's more than one. So you had a cotton plantation here. Here was a tobacco plantation that's right on the other side. On the other side of the river, there's another plantation that you might not even see, you know, saying in the picture where you have it. Oh, it's huge.
It looks 3D, doesn't it?
And if you look at it, there's a little church sitting right there on the hill there.
And Kim is someone, I had an opportunity to speak with Kim myself, and Kim is someone that, you know, Kim is married to a Hispanic. So he understands what it is to have someone who's near and dear to him, you know, that is actually someone who is not of Caucasian descent, but of Hispanic descent. And what he told me out of his own mouth is that he wanted to be able to, Derrick, he said, Derrick, I want to be able to share American history. He said, through my paintings, I want to be able to share what America looks like, American history. So go ahead.
Next one of these paintings is called The Finger of God. It's a powerful imagery of, you know, hurricanes and storms and what African Americans go through when it's a storm, because we sometimes don't have those mansions on the hill or the strongest home to withstand a lot of the flooding and the winds and things like that. This goes back into Mississippi and Louisiana. During the I want to say 20s and 30s, there was a huge storm there, and the African Americans were not permitted to leave. They were not permitted to leave. They enacted laws to tell them they couldn't leave. They were afraid that if the African American left, that he would surely never return. So they were not allowed to leave. And they had to fill all the sandbags to put them up there. And when they ran out of the sandbags, the guns were pointed to them and they were told to lay up on top of the sandbags. So, the finger of God. And as you reflect back to time, this one is called In the Midst of God. Because no matter what the storm is, if God is in the midst of things, it always turns out all right. If you look at the little girl there, she's like holding a little baby doll in her hands. So, religion was, as everyone here probably know, was always one of those things that has formed a rock. It has been kind of like a rock and has surrounded us with sort of like a safe haven, so to speak, you know, during hard times, difficult times. And it's no different then than it is now. Wow. And through prayer, we come into the homecoming reunion, which is the end of the 4-piece series that Kim was commissioned to do. And this shows how the brighter days come. And if you look at this one and almost look at the other one, it almost looks as if though it's almost on the same land, almost. Like once you come here to the homecoming, everything becomes somehow all right. You got the family unit together. You got the kids in the background playing, jumping,
And sunflowers.
Always a happy, reunions are typically happy.
That's an excellent sequence from the first one to the homecoming.
It was kind of almost, it was not like that on purpose. Yeah, we wanted to show, that, things does get better with time. Things do get better with time. This is Tim Parker and he's a genius almost with the paintbrush.
Wow.
He's a Canadian. If you look at the hair, how he layered the oil paintings on top of the hair to make those dreadlocks look like it's almost real.
She does. Now he's Canadian.
It's Canadian born.
Uh-huh. Is he black?
He is not black.
He's white.
He's actually, I believe, white and Japanese.
Really?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Isn't she white?
It isn't. Oh my goodness.
And if you go and look up his name, you'll see tons of work he's done, mostly of African American models.
Wow. Beautiful.
This one is Aaron Hazel. These are my favorite. It's black and blue.
Yeah.
So, or let me just write black and blue. So he's blue and she's black. And he paints merely with a palette knife. And
Really? Yeah.
you can see the strokes, and it's just, it kind of leaves you in awe, the way it is. You can feel the drama in his paintings.
Now is he black?
He is definitely black.
Just ask him. Just ask him. Just curious.
And Ernie Burns is black.
I know we grew up with him.
The next one, Tiffany Anderson, is black.
Okay, that is beautiful.
She done Nina
What
Simone.
did she? Oh my goodness.
Gorgeous job.
She did.
But our next one, we've commissioned her again, and she's going to do the great James Baldwin.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Yes. She's done.
And she did this in glass?
She did it in glass and resin
In resin.
and acrylic paint.
So are prints available in these?
It's prints. Their prints are available in some of these. Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
We go back, to the 1970s when times, were in my opinion, I call that the golden decade. It's the 70s. I enjoyed the
Me
clothing,
too. Me too.
the music,
Yeah.
what we did, how we were, everything. Yeah, all that I can just hear now. This is Ernie Barnes painting here.
Cool.
It's called Pool Hall.
It's called what?
Pool Hall.
Pool hall. Yeah.
And then, you don't see a lot of pool halls today like you did back then.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful painting by Ernie Barnes. We go with Frank Morrison with a young girl, and
That's
I see a queen.
adorable. Oh, I love it. Look at that reflection. Oh, absolutely.
With her, with her little calves.
Gorgeous.
The camera almost reminded me of my little sister, the little calves she used to have.
That's adorable.
I was thinking about that there's letters in the background.
Yeah, there's letters in the background.
Messages that we get.
Yes.
Right.
That's good. You notice that. Most
Yeah.
people don't see that. This is Frank Morrison also. This is called On a Blue Note. One thing that happens, in time, almost all genres of music came through the African American community. Rock and roll, blues, jazz. Matter of fact, blues was first, then came country. So, and we sung country.
Yes.
So, that's kind of how, saying that whole thing. Now, I'm going to pivot from this one here to Annie Lee's work. And Annie Lee's work is so awe-inspiring. It reminded me of my mother and my grandmother, and also the time of church. And it goes here.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Holy Ghost.
Yes. Isn't that something?
If she didn't capture a day in the church,
Yes. Uh-huh.
so that one is Holy Ghost. The one to your far right,
Here, this one.
I love
I
this.
love
There's no
this.
end to it. It's out of fabric. If you go up
Really?
close to it and look at the hair, how it's stitched the hair together.
What? Oh my
The whole
gosh.
painting is all out of fabric.
That's a collage. That's beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
Fabric applique and 3.
Look at her ring.
And she's sitting in a
Oh my
wheelchair.
God.
She's sitting in a wheelchair. Wow.
Oh, wow.
This sort of reminds you of Leroy Campbell's work.
You know what? It does. You know, but Leroy Campbell's work is mostly all black faces. But we're gonna have Leroy Campbell in the next one. He's coming in the next one that we do.
That is fabulous.
And remember at the beginning I said, you know, from where we come from to what we go through. Here's Ernie Barnes again, to what we hope for. Which means that they're going to be reflection in time.
And when you think about what we hope for, and it says a vision of education.
Right.
If you look at the history of the Dayton unit NAACP, we started our first year out with $96 fighting for education. Educational opportunities for African Americans. That's part of our history. If you look at our annual report with the NAACP, $96 that we raised in our first year to further our work, and it was about education. In 1915 is when we were founded, May 10, 1915, as a local organization. And February 12, 1909, as a national organization. So if you want to be able to see Kim Wiggins again, in his artistry work over there, he will actually be with us in October at our 72nd Hall of Freedom Awards. And so we have something special that's going to happen during that time. So, just to let you know.
Now, are you having that dinner here at the Art Institute?
No, our Hall of Freedom Awards can only take place, it's only at the Dayton Convention, so that's the only place that can hold us.
Yeah.
So our annual event normally has about 1,200 people that attend our annual event every year. So we have the largest event of any organization in Montgomery County, Ohio, and that makes my heart feel good to know that people of all races, of all backgrounds, come out to support our work.
I was just thinking, since the exhibit is here, if you were using the Art Institute for that event.
No, it couldn't hold us.
Yeah.
Couldn't hold us.
And with that, we want to tell everyone, thank you for coming to Reflections.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking time.
Also, guys, there's 2 upstairs in the main hall by Aaron Hazel as well. If I were anyone in this room, I would miss those 2. One of them is called, Baptism in the River, which is Howard. So those 2, and the one next to it, I won't say nothing to it. I'll let your imagination go wild as to what's on that mother's mind with the children. So I'll let you guys see that. I'll be up there, for those who meet me right upstairs in the front of the museum.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Foward, awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And so we want to get a picture with you all out here. As you enter inside here, this is going on the street.